Ismail Abdulsalam, BeatsBoxingMayhem.com. I'm here with a very special guest. This man is going to be returning to Atlanta on June the 11th. A big card here in Atlanta, conjunction with Bud Fight Club and a couple other promoters down here. I'm here with none other than Atlanta native Quatavious Cash. Quatavious, how you doing today, man? Appreciate you making time.
Thank you, man. I'm good. Just got done sparring, so it's a good day.
That's what I was thinking, man, because I'm here in Atlanta. I know you're on the West Coast, so I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
it's 1 o'clock. I'm like, I hope I'm not messing with his training any. So tell me how the sparring has been going, man. You're back in the lab now. How's it been so far?
It's been wonderful, man. Being over here at Top Rank Gym, there's a lot of talent in here. So no day is an easy day, and that's exactly what I need to elevate my game and try to fix a lot of my mistakes that I made in the past. So I feel like I'm in the right element.
So this is an interesting situation because even though you fought, I think about 12, 13 times in Atlanta. So most people are going to be like, okay, this is old hat for you. You're a hometown fighter, but you're still technically coming in because you're coming in from the West Coast. So is that harder because when you come in, people are going to be happy to see you? It's not like you've been around lately, so you guys still catch up with people. Does it make it more difficult to get into that fight mindset when you're coming back home, so to speak?
Nah, because Vegas is it's my comfort zone now. So when I come to Atlanta, it's all business. My family knows that. So when I come in, I never make an announcement. I duck away and I kind of just stay that way till after the fight. I might go see my grandmother and see my dad, and that's about it. I kind of stay away from like the Atlanta vibe. The Atlanta vibe is more clubbish and more popularity and stuff like that. I'm not like that. I'm kind of different. So I'll duck away in the country and just vibe out until after the fight.
Got it. Now, that's a very valuable attribute to have as a fighter. Now, I got to ask you, have you always been that way, or has it come as you've gotten older where you just kind of stayed away from the club life and all that?
I kind of always been this way. Even when I hosted at clubs, I don't like clout, and I feel like I don't need it. Even though I do have it, I don't need it. So that doesn't motivate me at all. Just people knowing who I am, or that shit like that. I don't care about this. So I care about the art of fighting and trying to feed my family. So that's what's on my mind. When I get down fighting, I'd rather go get some junk food and go home instead of go to the club and show off. It's just always been my personality.
Got it. Got it. So when you were talking about being in the lab and fixing some of the mistakes, everybody saw the last fight that you had with Emma Williams, pretty much fought on even terms in the first round. And then the second round, as soon as you get hit with a good shot, the ref is calling it off. Everybody was shocked. I just want to know, what did the ref say to you? Did he try to explain himself afterward? Because it was very strange. It's like he went into a clinch, you stumble over each other, but as soon as he gets up, the fight's called off.
Yeah, I feel like it was a conversation that probably was had before that stated if I gave him an opening to stop the fight, then he should take it. Because when we got done with the fight, walking back to the dressing room, he said, I thought you was out. I'm sorry. I told him, I said, you can't say that. That's like a cop saying, I thought that kid had a gun and he killed him. You got to know. It's your job to know. So the bad thing about that situation was when I saw the doctor, I felt so bad because I didn't get checked out. If somebody get knocked out or get stopped, the doctor would check them out and do all this stuff to make sure they're okay. The doctor tapped me on the back of the shoulder. He said, "I'm sorry that happened to you. Just wait here for your check."
Wow.
And let
Wow.
me tell you another thing. His dad, Raul Kai Sr., did it to me on the contender in Cali. So out of my three losses, my first loss was Raul Kai's senior stopping the fight. Then his last one was junior stopping the fight. So it's always something with those two. So I just got the shit end of the stick.
Amazing, amazing. And I think people don't realize the ramifications that come from that. Because, a lot of people don't do their research. Anybody that's maybe trying to make with a different promoter and all that, they'll look at your record and just see, oh, this is a knockout. So this guy, he might not be good for a card. They're just going to make automatic assumptions instead of looking behind the scenes and seeing that went into it. So have you seen any of that? Was it difficult to get another fight to get back in there? Did people write you off that you've seen?
Nah, being in the mecca of boxing, I know everybody and I get respect from like majority of the people that pretty much are important, like world champions and people behind the scenes with certain promotional companies. So I've been getting a lot of fight offers. What I did was after my last fight, I bought a cargo van and started my own business. So
Hmm.
I took some time off from the gym and I just told boxing, just leave me alone for right now until I feel like I want to get back in the gym. and now we here. So before this, I got offered title fights. The money wasn't right though, so I get offers every month still.
Okay.
You know, overseas, I get fights overseas. I get fights here. So I got a good manager too, Mike Leonardo at Victory Sports Entertainment. So the phone is always ringing. I won't say people write me off, but just because I did the TV show and they seen how good I did with Ammo the first round, a lot of people would want me on their resume. So I'm always getting fight offers.
Now, is it easier for you now to kind of see when the jig is up as far as like when the offers come in? Is it easier now to see, okay, this might be a little shaky. I might be getting into the same type of situation I was in before where someone might try and screw me over. Can you see that easier now with some of the offers that come in?
I wouldn't say easier because even before I took the Ammo fight, I knew what I was getting myself into.
Mm.
Because people don't know, me and Ammo was supposed to fight when Canelo fought. What's the tall guy? Williams, Callum, Callum Smith.
Callum Smith, right?
All right, so me and Ammo was supposed to fight on that undercard, but then my trainer caught COVID.
Okay.
So this fight was like a year in the making. It wasn't just like they've been trying to get me to fight this guy. So it's, stuff like that happens a lot. I wouldn't say I can call it out now. I really don't know when I'm gonna get treated fair and when I'm not. Only thing I can say is when I've got offered fights by top rank, it always was fair, no matter if I was fighting one of their fighters or not. So
Got it. And that's another thing, you've seen Matchroom, you work with Mayweather and Mayweather Gym and now Top Rank. So you've kind of seen the spectrum of promoters that are out there. And that's one thing I think is unique to this era is that really your destiny is not really just what you do in the ring, it's really who you sign with. Because, we've seen fighters, you see with the Charlos, they're kind of stuck not having, being able to fight anybody because of, who they signed with. And we've seen that on the other side with Andrade, who he signed with. It kind of prevents you from other opportunities, seen it with Crawford. So how difficult or easy is it for you to navigate as a middleweight to kind of decide, okay, who should I go with long term? It seems like you're happy now with what you're seeing with Top Rank. How are they different from what
I'm not with Top Rank. I have good relationships over there. I'm signed to Victory Sports Entertainment, and my manager has made good connections with everybody, so I can fight everywhere. I've been offered fights from every big promotional company, and I'd rather keep it that way. I tell a lot of young fighters, sometimes you don't need a promotional company. If you got a good manager with good connections, you can pretty much float and be everywhere. Now, if I sign with Tyrant, I wouldn't be getting a PBC fight offer. Or if I sign with PBC, I definitely won't be getting a top rank offer. But me being where I'm at now, in the position I'm in, I got to get some good wins so I can pretty much accept the fight anywhere without getting the backlash. So,
got it. So just your gut instincts or what you've seen so far, what do you think is better to be able to give you that flexibility where you can just kind of float? Is it better to have a good record, or is it better just to have a good fan-friendly fighting style? What do you think promoters lean towards more?
Right now, in the social media age, it's all about records and numbers. So, you got a good record. Sometimes you'll see guys like 20-0, haven't fought nobody,
right?
Get on TV and get exposed, but they got there because they got the record. I know a lot of guys with bad records that can fight their ass off. They probably never get a chance to get on TV. So, with me being 14-3, when I know those losses shouldn't be there. Nobody did the research to know that I really should still be undefeated. But I think it's easy for me to get fights because people look at those 3 losses like it's an easy fight. It's a cakewalk. So I like the position I'm in now because it's like you would think my back is against the wall, but like, no, I'm ready to race.
Got it. And that brings me to your opponent that you talk about. You can't be deceived by records. Jason Minda, he'll be coming in. I think he's lost his last 6 fights. We don't really hear the term trap fight too much in boxing. We hear trap games when you talk about NBA and all that. But talk about the mindset with guys like this. They might be on a losing streak. Does that make them more dangerous, or does it make it easier for you to think, okay, if I get them hurt early on, they kind of already know how to lose if I get them in that tough spot? Do you think it's easier to fight guys, or is it more difficult?
I think it's more difficult because you never know when the switch gonna go back. Certain guys falling, like they get comfortable with losing, but you might get a guy be like, "This the one. I'm training hard. I got to turn around." You never know, so you got to treat everybody the same. So I'm gonna treat this guy just like he's a world champion.
Right.
I'm taking it serious. I'm training hard. I'm doing everything right because my mentality is I got to kick his ass. I don't care about his record. I'm looking at him like he's 21-0.
Exactly.
And I feel like with me for a long time, I've been on autopilot with like not fearing guys. I don't get butterflies when I fight. Most people don't know that. Like I should get butterflies. I want butterflies, but I ended up getting shot in 2013 in Atlanta, and after I got shot, my butterfly just went away. I don't fear shit. So just with that alone, I don't look at videos on my opponents. So I'm going into this fight just off what my coaches and my managers tell me what I need to do, what he does good, what he does bad, and I try to channel that into like going into the unknown, like trying to have some kind of jitters going into this fight. So I'm taking this guy very serious, and I don't care about his losses. I look at him as a fighter. I respect him. He's bigger than me. He can punch. So we're gonna make sure we do the right thing.
All right. And that's something real that you just revealed about getting shot, because there's so many different ways you can go mentality-wise. If you ever seen interviews with Tupac, he talked about when he got shot, he couldn't trust anybody anymore. And anytime he heard like a loud sound, it kind of made him jitter, because he didn't know who was around him and he didn't know who he can trust. And then your situation is even more unique. This happened, more than likely in Atlanta, place that you were comfortable in. What made it so it didn't make you more hesitant? How did you go the other route that made you stronger as a fighter? And what inside you made you think you got to that point where it made you stronger?
Well, I don't know if you kind of like looked at my story and saw like my mom was sick,
right,
and stuff like that. So by the time I got shot, my mom she had lost our house, because like we was like in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like I'm trying to chase my dreams, and I ended up getting shot like 3 weeks before I fought. Right, I couldn't pull out that fight. I needed that money. I needed that money to do something else with. And once I finally like got to the gym like a few days after, and I'm limping in the gym, and I'm still training for a fight with a hole in my leg, and I actually fought with. I was like, I can fight through anything. That's where my strength comes from. Like I've been through everything. I fought through everything. All last year I had a hurt hand. Nobody knew it. Right before I fought Ammo, I had 6 stitches in my lips. I could see a picture like 3 weeks before. So me getting shot, I channeled that energy into something like, you know what? Life ain't as bad as you make it. Like if I can fight through that, I can fight through anything.
Got it. And here's the other thing that you probably will make you laugh. People who have never fought before, anytime somebody gets hurt or they get stunned, they're like, oh, just grab them or just do this, do that. I don't think they realize how jarring it is, when you get hit with a good shot. So just the best way you can you describe to the layman person what it feels like to get hurt? Because I think most people feel like it's like the movies, everything gets slower. Just kind of bring people into the realm of a fighter. How do you react when, you get rocked like that?
So if you watch my fight, boom, I get hit with the punch, I find the ropes and I grab them. But that's something that we've talked about in the gym. I've been around boxing for a long time, so I was kind of groomed that way. But when you get hurt with a punch, you don't really feel it. It's like a TV turn on and off. It's like, boom. So I went from in a fight, we doing good, to like, oh, I got to get back right. So immediately I knew I had to get to the ropes and hold. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't. It's not like the TV shows where it's in slow motion. You get hit and you just wobble. It really feels like a TV turned on and off. Like I don't even remember the punch. I don't remember. It's like boom.
Right.
That's it. So it's what you do after. Some people panic. They feel that way. They panic. That's why I didn't go down. Like to me, I feel like maybe the referee wouldn't have stopped if I would have went down to a knee, maybe.
Right.
But
Yeah, and it happens so quick, and it's like you have to make split decisions. The only time I heard somebody practicing that, and we saw, how it turned out for him, Muhammad Ali, he used to say in sparring, he used to deliberately let people hit him so he can get into that feeling so he would kind of know how to react. But obviously, that's not a good idea. We see how the grade turned out. So, yeah. I'm
pretty sure you know boxing, right? So have you ever heard of Coach Al Mitchell?
Yeah.
All right, so Al Mitchell used to be the coach at at Northern Michigan University, the Olympic Education Training Center. They have like a college up there. So it's to be a drill. I never trained with him at the school, but I know that's like a OG of mine. Let's do this drill where you spin around a circle, right?
Right.
Spin around a circle for like 30 seconds, like fast as you can. You go down to a knee, and you pop up, you got to hit the mitts.
Wow. Okay.
Most people can't do that. Like, so
Right.
you got to really like focus and like try to channel your energy, because that's what it feels like when you get hit. Like, you all over the place. Like, you gotta get your bearings straight. Like, so just doing stuff like that through the years, I kind of know how to maneuver in the gym if I was to get hurt. I don't panic.
That's interesting. Wow. I didn't think about that. That's a genius strategy because it's stimulating it without actually you being hurt. You know, interesting.
Right? Yeah,
Wow.
it's kind of the same feeling, but it's like without taking the damage.
Exactly. That's the safe part. Got it. Okay. So let's talk about Atlanta a little bit. As far as I would probably put this down as unfinished business. You know, you're very popular here in Atlanta. You had the fight with what was it, Antonio Todd? And you had the head clash and that stopped the fight. And he's got a little bit of a name now too, because he had the upset win over Hugo Centeno last year. I think he's fighting Connor Coyle I think in a week or two. So do you
it's May 21st.
21st, right. So do you think that's possibly a fight that could be revisited down the line, or do you think you guys are just on two different paths overall at this point?
Nah, we tried to get the rematch. They said it wasn't enough money, but people don't know. People don't know. When I took the fight for Antonio, I took the fight for free. I just got travel expenses back. I didn't get no money for that fight.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't like. That was a fight that we wanted. That was a fight that they wanted. It was like Battle of Atlanta. I really don't get into like that Battle of Atlanta clout kind of like boxing. Like, I don't have a point to prove to Atlanta. Like, in a perfect world, I want to break a championship back to Atlanta. My focus is not on Atlanta fighters,
right?
Because we are already at the bottom of the barrel. That's why I'm in Vegas now. Now, if I wanted to be the king of Atlanta, I would have stayed in Atlanta. That's not my ceiling. So when they brought the fight to me, of course I took it. I took that fight for little than nothing. So when the head clash happened, I was like, could have kept going. I was like, we got to get a rematch. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a rematch for sure. Another fight card came around. We asked for it's not enough money. I'm like, well, we pretty much fight for free anyway, so we don't care about the money. We just want the fight to be made. But I'm happy he did get an upset win, and now he's about to fight for a title. So, you know, maybe it'll happen down the line, but it's not something I'm just gonna be like, yo, I need to fight this guy. He's not on my radar. Actually, nobody's on my radar. I just accept what comes to me. So if they want to fight again, then we'll fight again. If not, he goes where I go his way. Hopefully we both bring belts back to Atlanta. But if not, I'm ready for whatever.
Got it. Now, you mentioned earlier how after the last fight, you had to take some time away from boxing and started your own business. And I feel that happens to most boxers, where there's that moment where it's like, you know what? I love the sport, but I don't love everything around it. I just need to decompress, get myself out of it. But some people never come back. They get tired of it. You know, once they get outside of it and find some success, they're like, no, it's not worth the stress. Putting all myself into it and then getting screwed over by the ref or a judge. What made you decide, you know what, I'm still willing to give it this next push at this point, despite all you've been through and all you've seen?
Like, it's the reason I'm in Vegas. Like, my mother had a lung disease, pulmonary fibrosis. So after I got shot, kind of was like one foot in the streets, one foot in a boxing gym. I wasn't really trained the way I wanted to. And she just told me, she's like, you're gonna get killed in Atlanta if you don't move. So she kind of like forced me out of Atlanta. So when I got to Vegas, I'm still not working, you know, trying to find my way. So she used to not pay for her medicine to make sure I stayed in Vegas to fulfill my dream. So I got to be out here. I cannot quit boxing right now. I got to give it my all. I gotta see it through, because she paid a big sacrifice, and the only way I can repair back is a finish through with my dream. So even though I took that break, I knew I couldn't quit. Like, they're going to kick me out of boxing, pretty much. That's my mindset.
Now, do you see yourself down the line as a trainer or anything like that, manager, post-career?
Nah. Boxing is a shady. Hey, boxing is a shady business. It's like,
yeah, man.
When I was in Atlanta, I really didn't know much about the inside. But once I start traveling and going here and going there, and you know everybody, and you hit it, boxing is a crazy business. I don't want no parts of it. I probably end up in jail, man. Like you deal with so many cutthroat people. I mean, it's a lot of genuine people in boxing too, but overall, it's like a cutthroat sport. And when I'm done, I'm done. I have other things I want to do.
And it's like, you can't escape it no matter if you're the fighter, even us in media. It's like everywhere you go is issues.
It's something. It's issues. It's something.
Right.
You're right.
It-
It's always something.
yeah, it's always something going on. But yeah, I completely understand. So let me ask you this about Atlanta. You know, we got some good fights down here. We've gotten Gervonta fought down here a couple times. We had Shakur a couple months ago. Do you see Atlanta transforming? Of course, it will never be Vegas, but do you see it transforming into a hub, maybe a southern hub for boxing, or do you think it's just too much of a college town with college sports and other things, and with music and all that that'll prevent boxing from really growing?
Nah, I actually think that. Hold on a second. I actually think that Atlanta can really be a new hub, seeing how the city is changing. Everything is new now. We got 2 good venues. You saw Tank come down there. You saw Shakir come down there. I think what we need to do is try to get behind the fight and build them up that's from Atlanta to make more sense. Because Atlanta supports Atlanta. If you look at the rap scene, man, we killing everybody. Only thing we missing is boxing. So once we finally get behind the fighter and support them to get them to that point, we won't need to go to Vegas. Vegas won't be a big deal. It'll be a big deal fighting Atlanta at the State Farm Arena.
Absolutely.
So it's not even a thing where I just feel like Atlanta got to come together and try to find a way to get the boxing guys in the media where it's not corny. I can't really explain. It's just like you can't do the club route. I don't know. We got to find a way to get Atlanta boxing's name out there in a different light than giving them the glitz and glamour early, because those guys focus. They fall in love with the clout and not the hard work.
Exactly.
So that's what Atlanta is like a cloudish town. Like everything's all about the drip. It's all about how you look, how popular you are. So when you give a fighter that early, they don't really perform the way they should. But if we can get behind some of these young guys, because we got a few young guys down there that's doing that thing. We got the Kyrie Scott.
Yep.
We got who else we got down there? We got Brian Norman.
Mm-hmm.
We got Najee Lopez. We got some young guys that get behind, but we got to keep them focused.
Yeah. You may need to send them out there with you, honestly.
Yeah. To me, you know what it's like being in Vegas? It's like going to college where everybody's the man in their hometown. Everybody's good where they come from, but you're on a different level now. When everybody's good, how can you stand out now? How can you stand out if everybody just as good as you, just as fast as you, just as powerful as you, got as many fights as you or more? How can you stand out?
Exactly. All right, man. So I really appreciate your time. I know we covered a lot of topics. One thing I want to touch on for our last question. I remember maybe a year or two ago, you had just finished up I think a sparring session or training session with Shawn Porter. And you mentioned he's probably like the best sparring that you've ever gotten, just his focus and everything. Yeah. Now that he's retired, has anyone surpassed him so far that you work with, or is it still Shawn?
So I said that Shawn was the hardest sparring I had because of how much pressure he put on. He just never stopped coming. But I sparred like Janabek.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a count with him last year, and I put him at the top. What's up, Dan? How you doing, bro? I put him at the top now. Probably Janabek. Probably the hardest guy I've been in the ring with so far.
Okay. And it looks like nobody's really interested in getting in the ring with him anytime soon. So we'll see how it works out for him, because I think he just got turned down.
I see why. I definitely feel like he's gonna be the next champion at 160. They got to make room for me too, but that guy's special. I've been in the ring with a lot of special guys. I've probably been in training camp with like 20 plus world champions. Mm-hmm. Anybody from 147 to 175 come out here, I feel them Sparta, David Benavidez, Caleb Plants, Bobby Jag. That's probably everybody. Ugas, Lauren.
I see. I've been seeing in your comments, man. It's like a roll call of big stars on your Instagram.
Yeah. It's like a little, and that's one thing I like about being in Vegas, because I'm always in the place to like elevate my game. It's always somebody having a camp out here, training camp out here, or somebody always offered to go to camp. Like I remember I got offered to go to camp with Dimitri Bivol like 2 or 3 fights ago. I just was busy, I had my own thing, so I turned down a lot of camps too. But it's just a healthy environment to grow in. You know, just being like I'm at Tarrant Rink Gym right now. I'm in the lobby. Like Devin Haney just walked in.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so I'm always around like top level guys. So it just made me better.
Got it. So just made me think, I got to get your opinion on this. The next big fight that we're all hoping for is, of course, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Can I get you to pick a winner in that potential fight? I think I'm going to go with Bud by KO, late stoppage. What do you think?
Okay, so let's talk about Errol first. Errol Spence is a tough guy. He's strong, and you know, I feel like straight up and down, he's a better fighter than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is unpredictable, right? And what I like about Terence Crawford, on the outside looking in, you'll hear fighters say things like, "Oh, I'll do this to him," or "I'll do that." Then you get in the ring with him and you get stopped. He's a great finisher. He can fight both ways too. So I'm gonna go with Terence Crawford too for the stoppage. And a lot of people don't respect my opinion for that, but it's just how I feel. It's a guy on the outside looking in. They talk about him getting hurt a few times in previous fights and all this stuff. Terence Crawford shows up every time, right?
Yep.
And he's unpredictable. Errol Spence is I'm gonna say he's predictable because you know how he's coming. He's coming to beat you up. He's gonna break you down. He's gonna throw big body shots. He's gonna throw bombs. He's trying to break you. You don't know what you're getting with Terence Crawford. I don't know if he's gonna box you southpaw. I don't know if he's gonna be on the outside or on the inside. You really don't know what you're dealing with when you get in a ring with Terence Crawford. So that's the only edge I would give Terence. So I'm gonna go with Terence too.
I agree. And the only thing I can add to that is that I think physical strength-wise, we know how strong Errol is, but I think people underestimate how strong Crawford is. You know, I've never seen him get muscled in the ring, despite all the weight classes he moved up at. So I think that might surprise some people too when they eventually fight. But I hope we get it this year.
I feel like Terence Crawford conditioning may be a little better. Like, cause I don't know, it just seemed like in the later rounds you would see Errol Spence steam kind of like let off a little bit, but Terence Crawford still going strong in the later rounds. So I feel like that's gonna play a big part of it too.
Right, definitely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you making time. I plan to be there on the 11th next month at Center Stage. Great venue. So looking forward to it. But before we go, any social media that you want to plug? Anybody want to get in touch with you? How can they reach you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at KO King Cash. It's KOKINGCASH. Or you can follow my Facebook, which is Quatavious Cash. I'm pretty much on Instagram, so that's about all I use. You know, shout out to my managers, Victor Sports Entertainment, my trainer, Chris Ben Chavasi, and my sponsors, Title Boxing and Doug Ward. So, you know, that's it.
Appreciate it.